All right, welcome back to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into something that is an absolute game changer for any serious MLOps project, pre-commit hooks. Seriously, if you're an ML engineer or you're moving into that role and you want to write code that's cleaner, more consistent, and just better, you're going to want to stick around for this. Okay, so first up, we're going to talk about why these things are like the ultimate gatekeeper for your code. Let's really dig into the problem they're designed to solve. I mean, come on, we've all been there, right? You push your code, you're feeling good about it, you go grab a coffee, you come back 5, 10 minutes later, and bam, CI pipeline failed. And what was it? A simple typo, a formatting error. Maybe you left a print statement in there. It is so frustrating, and it's just a huge waste of time and CI resources. But what if you could catch all that junk before it even leaves your computer? Well, that's exactly what pre-commit hooks are for. They are literally your personal automated quality gatekeeper. They're just these little scripts that run on your code automatically, right before you commit it. And if they spot something wrong, nope, they stop the commit right in its tracks and tell you, hey, you need to fix this first. It's brilliant. So, okay, why is this such a big deal? Well, for one, they enforce consistent standards across your whole team. No more pointless arguments in pull requests about code style. It's just handled. 2, they catch all those simple, boneheaded mistakes before they ever become a real problem. And maybe most importantly, by catching this stuff on your own machine, you slash the number of those annoying CI/CD failures. That feedback loop gets so much tighter, and you just become way, way more productive. Now, it's really important to get this straight. Pre-commit hooks don't replace your CI/CD pipeline. Not at all. They work with it. Think of it like this. Pre-commit hooks are your first line of defense. They're the quick, immediate check on your local machine for stuff like linting and formatting. Your CI/CD pipeline, that's your second, heavier line of defense on the remote server. It does the big, resource-intensive jobs like running the full test suite. They each have their own job to do. Okay, theory is great, but let's get our hands dirty. How do you actually set this up in your project? You're gonna love this. It is surprisingly easy. It's really just a simple 3-step process. First, you just add pre-commit to your project's dev dependencies. Easy enough. Second, you create this little config file in your project's root directory. It's called .precommitconfig.yaml. That's kind of the brains of the operation. And then step 3, you just run one command. Pre-commit install. That's it. It hooks itself into your Git repo, and you're good to go. So that config file I mentioned, the .precommitconfig.yaml, that's where all the magic happens. It's basically a shopping list of all the checks you want to run. When you're just starting out, you can keep it super simple. Add some basic but really powerful checks, like getting rid of trailing white space or making sure every file ends with a new line. Small things that make a big difference. And hey, here's a little pro tip for you. You don't actually have to wait until you commit to see what happens. You can run all your hooks manually across every file in your project with this command. This is an absolute lifesaver if you're trying to clean up an existing code base. All right, basics are covered. Now let's level up. We're going to build a starter kit specifically for what we do, Python-based MLOps projects. So yeah, for MLOps work in Python, we need a little more firepower, right? This config here is a fantastic starting point. It's got Ruff, which is, wow, it's this incredibly fast linter and formatter that can replace a whole bunch of other tools like Black, iSort, and Flake 8 all in one. Super efficient. And it's also got Bandit, which is huge for us. It scans your code for common security issues. I mean, when you're dealing with data and models, that is absolutely a must-have. Okay, so our code is clean. Awesome. But what about our commit messages? Our project history? Turns out, hooks can help us there too, enforcing standards on the messages themselves. And for that, we have a tool called Commitizen. Its whole job is to make sure your commit messages follow a consistent format, like the conventional commit standard. And trust me, having a clean, predictable Git history it's just invaluable. 6 months from now, when you're trying to figure out why a change was made, you will thank yourself for this. It makes everything so much easier to understand. Setting it up is pretty straightforward. You just configure its behavior right inside your pyproject.tom file, which is where you should be managing your Python project settings anyway. You define the rules for your commits there, and the cool part is, this can help you automate stuff later, like versioning and creating changelogs. Super powerful. And to make it all automatic, you just pop the Commitizen hook into your pre-commit config. Now, this hook runs at a slightly different time. It runs after your code passes the initial checks, but before the commit is actually saved. This guarantees that every single commit message meets the standard you've set, no exceptions. So this actually brings up a great point about the different stages of Git hooks. The pre-commit hook is your first checkpoint for those super fast checks on your files. Then you have the commit message hook, the second checkpoint, which validates the message you just wrote. And then there's a third one, the pre-push hook. This one runs right before you push your code up to the remote server. It's the perfect place for checks that are a little bit slower, stuff you don't want to run on every single commit, like maybe a quick version of your test suite. Okay, we have covered a ton of ground. So to wrap things up, let's go over a few key best practices to make sure this all goes smoothly when you roll it out with your team. First and foremost, keep it fast. We'll talk more about that in a sec. Second, always pin your dependencies. Use that rev field in your config. This makes sure every single person on the team is running the exact same version of the hooks. Super important. Next, work on the configuration as a team to get everyone on board. Also, remember that balance, what runs locally versus what runs in CI. And finally, don't go crazy at the start. Start simple and then add more hooks over time as you need them. Okay, I really want to hammer this point home because it is the most important one. Speed. If your hooks take, 30 seconds or a minute to run every single time you commit, people are going to get annoyed. They're going to start bypassing them. The entire goal here is to make life easier, not to add friction. So you have to prioritize speed above everything else. And speaking of bypassing, there is an escape hatch. In a real pinch, you can use the -no-verify flag with your commit to skip the hooks entirely. But, and I'm serious here, use this with extreme caution. This should be the absolute rare exception, not something you do regularly. It's like a break glass in case of emergency kind of thing. So there you have it. That's your crash course on using pre-commit hooks to seriously level up your MLOps game. They are such a simple concept, but man, they are incredibly powerful for making sure your code is high quality right from the start. So now the question is for you. What's the very first hook you're going to go add to your project?